Famcast Media, bitch.
If this is how black Christians are acting, I guess you can say I'm proud to be a black Satanist. Good evening, demons and demonesses. So, just recently I was scrolling down my timeline, and once again, like always, I come across some more crazy religious bullshit. Alright, so basically the story is that these two black Christians, I think it's in New York City, and they're going all around where, you know, they have the whole Black Lives Matter banner, or should I say mural, painted on the middle of the street. And what they do is they go by with black paint buckets and they deface the mural and they just start smearing paint all over the place. This is just really embarrassing behavior from these two. Let's take a look at it.
Black Lives Matter, right? For the black people. This for the black people. They destroying businesses for black people. They're looting for black people. They do it for black people, right? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. You want to defund the police for black people. You're lying. No, we're not standing with Black Lives Matter. We want our police. Refund our police. Refund our police. Y'all don't care about black lives. Y'all don't care about black lives. Refund the police. Refund the police. They say Black Lives Matter. They say Black Lives Matter, right? They say Black Lives Matter. Oh, they don't care about black lives. They don't care about black lives. They don't care. 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 Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. They don't care about black lives. They lie. They liars. They're liars. They say they care about black lives, and they're saying to defund the police. All for the sake of black people. The Blasio doesn't care about black people. The Blasio doesn't care. Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. Fuck you. Refund the police. You devil. You devil. Refund the police. 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 Jesus matters. Jesus matters. We will never support Black Lives Matter. We will never support it. 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 We will when they're killing each other, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? They don't care. They don't care about black people. Susan, get your keys. Get your keys. They're not mine. They don't care about black people. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Bill de Blasio doesn't care about black people. I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up. They don't care about black people. They can kill that demon. They can kill that. Black Lives Matter is a demon. It's the devil. It's destroying this nation. They don't care. They want to arrest us. They want to give us. Look at this hypocrite right here. Look at this hypocrite right here. Kill each other. We're dying in the streets. We're dying in the streets. We're dying in the streets. And they talking about Black Lives Matter. We're dying in the streets. They don't care about black people. They don't care. They don't care. Look, the black people's the devil. They don't care. 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 I got it. Liars. 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 In the name of Jesus. Jesus matters. Black lives don't matter until Jesus matters. Jesus matters. Jesus matters. Jesus matters. Stand up. Take your country back.
Now, based on one of the news reports that I've seen about this story, one of the officers had gotten injured involving the arrest of this woman. Apparently, while the woman was smearing paint all over the street, the cop that went to, stop her from doing it, slipped and hit his head on the concrete. And apparently, he's doing a lot better. He's expected to recover from his injuries. But, let's just say this story had a lot of tables turned. I mean, you got the police defending a Black Lives Matter mural, and the two people that are vandalizing this mural are black. And not only that, but just the reaction from some of the other people, the people that are commenting on the news story, let's just say it points out a lot of hypocrisy, especially among, the right wing. For example, these same right-wingers are going around saying, oh my gosh, the looters, they shouldn't be burning and vandalizing property and things like that. And yet they're cheering on these crazy black Christians that are defacing this Black Lives Matter mural. I'm like, whatever happened? You just said that you were against, vandalism and stuff like that, and you're now encouraging vandalism. So what, is vandalism only bad if it's, if it suits your, political agenda? It should be bad all around. Like, I'm a man of principle. I mean, I don't think it's right to burn down buildings or, spray paint buildings. And at the same time, I don't think you should deface anyone's artwork. I mean, people want to say, oh, it's graffiti. Well, technically, there is a permit to have the Black Lives Matter mural on 5th Avenue. So technically, it's not graffiti, it's artwork, and I believe Mayor Bill de Blasio allowed this to be put there. Now, I have my own issues with Mayor de Blasio as well as many other New Yorkers, but I have to give de Blasio credit for, allowing the artists to, paint their mural on this street. After all, I mean, the country is still under civil unrest. We still have, we still need police reform. I mean, we're seeing all sorts of other, unnecessary changes, such as, voice actors getting fired from their jobs or stepping away from their jobs because, they feel that a black person should be, portraying a black character in a cartoon or some shit like that. And I'm like, I mean, I understand what you're coming from, but that's not what we're asking for. What people are asking for is police reform. They want American cops to be held at the same standard as European cops in the UK, cops in Germany, cops in France, and all the other parts of the world. Now, at the beginning of the video, you can hear the black woman saying, support black or save black fetuses or something along those lines. And that really just doesn't make any sense to me, all right? I mean, you've got a shirt on that says, Jesus saves or Jesus matters or something like that. But yet, you're defending corrupt cops and at the same time defending fetuses. So what? The fetuses only matter when they're fetuses. When they grow up and they become, actual black people, now you're saying, well, now I support the corrupt police officers. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. You want a black baby born, but you don't want a black person protected. Now, I'm not trying to say that all cops are bad, because, I come from a family of police officers. Anti-correction officer. 2 of my uncles are retired police officers. So I have nothing but respect for the cops. But we have to acknowledge that there is problems with the police department here in the United States, especially when it comes to training, especially when it comes to, dealing with certain suspects in certain situations. Some departments train their officers well to de-escalate something if it goes out of hand. And then some agencies are like, just shoot everyone in sight. Now, I have to give the NYPD credit for, showing restraint, especially in this situation. This woman was clearly, resisting arrest, and, the cops were more than fair to her. They didn't, tackle her, they didn't spray her, they didn't tase or anything like that. They were trying to get a hold of her, but they kept slipping and sliding all over the black paint, and then, like I said, one of the officers got injured, and thankfully he's going to recover. But I will give them a round of applause for, handling this professionally. Because, had this gotten rough, you would have had protests all over the country, but then again, I don't even know if that's true, because, this is... I mean, these are 2 black women that are doing this, but at the same time, they're black people that are against Black Lives Matter. So I'm like, that leaves them in a catch-22. They're like, so should we support the black people that are against Black Lives Matter, or should we support the cops? So I'm just glad this situation ended well for both the officers and for, you know, both Black Lives Matter. But back to the two women themselves, you know, apparently this woman has been arrested several times for doing crazy stunts like this all over the city. And apparently she's part of like this crazy, extremely Christian fundamentalist ministry. I don't know much about it. I might have to do a little bit more research into this and possibly do a follow-up video. Because after all, you know, religious fundamentalists kind of keep me entertained, especially with all this shit that's going around. But anyway, you see these women that have shirts on that says Jesus matters and Jesus saves. And there's a quote from Chris Rock. He said it in one of his stand-up comedies that if you're a black Christian, you're a black person with no memory at all. And pretty much what that means to me is, alright, you see these two black women with shirts that have the words Jesus on them. Statistically speaking, black people or black Americans, I should say, are the most religiously committed group here in the United States. Almost between 80 to 90% Christian. Now, one of the first slave ships that came to the United States was called the Jesus of Lubeck, also known as the Good Ship Jesus. Alright, now this ship went to Sierra Leone. They took at least 300 to 500, you know, slaves, and then brought them over to the United States, where they were basically beaten, tortured, and pretty much every horrible thing that you know about slavery happened to these people. And that continued for years and years and years. Not exactly with this same Good Ship Jesus, because there were many other ships that were part of this transatlantic slave trade. Now, although slavery was popular at the time, there were a few people out there that were against it. You know, the abolitionists were like, hey, you know what, we shouldn't really be doing this, this is wrong, we shouldn't really be doing this to our fellow man. But a lot of Christians brought up this book. The Holy Bible justifies slavery. Yet this is the same book that black people believe and follow to the T, especially here in the United States, and in some parts of Africa too, and it's rather sad. You know, this book that black people all over this country use and read from and follow their lives to the T by, this book is the reason why slavery existed, and it defended it. But yet so many black Christians in this country are the ones telling me that this book is the one that I should be afraid of. Should I be? These women have clearly drank in the Kool-Aid, or should I say, they're drunk off of Jesus juice, and it's rather sad. Now, thankfully, based on a lot of things that I've read recently, there are many black Americans that are starting to be skeptical of the church, especially the black church, with all the hypocrisy and stuff that's going on within it. Now, although I'm putting these two women on blast and kind of making fun of them at the same time, I think I should be thanking them and giving them a round of applause. Because your actions, whoever these two women are, they're just giving us more ammo and more reasons why we shouldn't be part of the church in the first place. But that's just my take on it. What's yours?